Theater, created by Christine Zhao, Maggie Ayers, Gordon Lee, Carmen Mew, and Chris Kim. At this point in 1942, when Japan attacked Burma, or modern Myanmar, most parts of northern China were controlled by Japan, and the parts of China left free were allied with the Allies. The relations between China and Japan were already tense even before Japan tried to conquer Burma, or modern Myanmar.
Once Japan had conquered Rangoon, or modern Yangon, Burma, modern Myanmar, in 1942, they effectively closed off the overland supply route to China.
Japan was trying to cut off support from the Allies by conquering all of Burma, the province located in the Southeast Asia bordering China and India.
Japan had started out by forcing the Allies to fly planes over the Himalayas to deliver supplies.
But the Americans were determined to support China, to keep China fighting in the war and on the Allies' side. There was a considerable amount of sympathy for China in the U.S., and the U.S.'s support was at first diplomatic and moved to financial support and then material support.
The Americans were supporting China's war against Japan even before the attack on Pearl Harbor, the counterattacks at Burma fueled America's war against Japan.
Many people are unaware of the China-Burma-India Theater because many people don't know about the event. There were few men, mostly volunteers, and few supplies. This was one of the battles in the war where there was little to no publicity.
This was also known as the Forgotten War because it had the least amount of troops, supplies, and public notice.
The warfare used by the Americans and Chinese is the guerrilla warfare, and the courageous flying tigers, or volunteers who flew the planes, flew war shark planes painted with sharks' mouths, and this proved to be effective in the jungles against the Japanese. The CBI stood for the China-Burma-India Theater.
It was a series of operations which began in November of 1943, led by General Stilwell, which helped support the Chinese troops stationed in Burma.
Despite the costly fighting and high casualties of over 25,500 men, the Americans and Chinese dominated the skies and reduced the threat of Japanese planes. Americans reported damaging more than 700 Japanese aircrafts, with a count of about 100 aircrafts destroyed.
This way, the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force posed less of a threat to airplanes flying to China. And by May of 1944, a total of 70,000 tons of supplies had been delivered to China.
In the end of the operations, Japan still had control over Burma, or modern Myanmar. This forced America to send supplies over to China through aircraft and over the Himalayas, making them vulnerable to Japanese aircraft attacks.
Land routes were no longer possible because Japan had control over land routes through Burma.
This was a minor turning point, unrecognized but still important because Japan was not able to control one of the trading routes into China as they had planned.
Japan was slowly isolating China from the rest of the world, but because of CBI theater, Japan was stopped from doing what they originally planned to do. The rest of the world was able to successfully transport materials into China.
And that's our bibliography. So I hope you enjoyed it.